That's right, friends. We have made it to another Friday. A little late on that one.
You missed it.
Dave, I've been drinking this morning.
He was putting on chapstick.
Taking its time.
Blistex.
He just looked you right in the eye, too, the whole time.
It was Blistex.
Like, what do you think is happening?
I got to get these lips lubricated.
Well, all right then, friends.
Thank you, Dave.
What a cliffhanger.
Welcome to a very special edition of Beer for Breakfast, where we learn something today.
And Mahoney is not great with time management.
Didn't you hate those episodes of, like, Silver Spoons or The Fresh Prince, where you're like, these are supposed to be comedies, and now we're getting into, like, some super serious stuff. And you're like, man, I'm 7 years old. I am not emotionally prepared for watching
about
Gary
American,
Coleman cry.
Yeah, there's something about American TV with sitcoms that are supposed to be funny, where they want to teach you a lesson at the end of every episode.
When Jessie Spano on Saved by the Bell had her addiction to caffeine pills.
No, I was talking about South Park. Like at the end of every episode, they're like, "Oh, but we learned something today," and it's kind of tongue in cheek. But not always. Sometimes you're like, "All right, I don't feel so bad about them."
Is that at the end of
It's making me burpy, too. I mean, it might have been like once or twice, but.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So today's beer on Beer for Breakfast is the Pizza Port Dream Trip IPA. It's a damn good-looking can. You can find it over our friends at Speedy Mart. They are proudly endorsing and sponsoring this segment. Thanks to them for that.
Oh, yeah, nice can indeed.
Very
we love good
beautiful
cans here at the Dave and Mahoney Morning Show. The Pizza Port Dream Trip IPA has 7.2% alcohol by volume. Today being served from a 16-ounce silver can that was canned just 9 days ago. So it is very, very fresh. And most of the time when you are getting into the higher end of the craft beer spectrum, you get a 4-pack of pints, which has kind of become the standard. But Pizza Port going above and beyond. We get a 6-pack of pints for only $13.99. Proper glassware, I say serve this out of a pint glass or a mug. And I like this actually a little bit colder. I know that traditionally with some of the other beers that we like to say, hey, serve this in a my computer just died.
Yeah, it did. Good luck.
Oh, my God.
Let's
Off
wing
the
it.
cuff.
You know what? Let's
Hold on a
wing
second.
it.
Your
Let's see, can
whole
you do
review
that?
is on your computer. Do you know why your computer died, even though it's been plugged in this whole time? Because your charger doesn't work, which is like dings constantly.
And Mahoney, he has tried to get
Wait,
a charger for you
wait. He
forever.
wrote like this segment, like so. Up until now, he was
Prepared. And
what? That was written down.
I write down everything.
That was written down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just wondering. Okay.
Okay, well,
This
we're
news
just
to
winging
me.
it now.
Okay, good
So the
luck.
I like this a little bit warmer, or excuse me, a little bit colder than normal. I feel like this one, just the way that the mouthfeel is, and we'll get to that in just a second. But the 5 categories in which we rate every single beer here on Beer for Breakfast: the look, smell, taste, feel, and drinkability.
Correct. You got that one. Good job.
nailed
So
it.
let's start with the look of the Dream Trip IPA from Pizza Port. Dude, why is my computer not turning on?
Panic ensues.
Live radio, garbage crap.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
hey.
it looks like a beer. I mean, it's got some good carbonation in there, but it's not overly dark. It's not overly clear. It looks very reminiscent of even like an American lager or a normal IPA. A bit more straw colored than a normal lager, I suppose. But otherwise, yeah. pretty
Very
spot on.
straw colored. I would say, looking at this one, a little bit lighter, but I mean, very crystal clear. No haze. Decent amount of carbonation, but the one thing I did notice about the Dream Trip IPA from our friends over there at Pizza Port, lots of head and lots of sticky lacing down the side of our glass.
Sticky.
Super sticky. I mean, this is some of the most sticky lacing I've ever seen.
It's a lot of sticky. It's almost cream-like. I mean, normally it's fluffy, but it's leaving behind cream-like.
Kind of like that
thick.
sticky icky, you know?
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next category, which is the smell of the Dream Trip IPA from our friends over there at Pizza Port. Pretty muted nose overall. I mean, it's not a big odoriferous nose by any stretch of the imagination.
Odoriferous?
Yeah. Smelly. That's what odoriferous
No, I
means.
know. It's just a $3
I don't
word.
even,
you don't even have that written
I don't
down.
have that. My computer is dead right now, and I don't have that
That
written
is
down.
something.
It's an odoriferous nose. You get the hops, a little bit of pine in there, light citrus, 0 alcohol, which is impressive for 7.2% alcohol by volume. So I would say this is a nose that is not going to turn anybody away when smelling it. So let's get to our favorite part here on Beer for Breakfast, which is the taste, which we have been doing a lot with this beer, and let's cheers. It's been a good week, guys. We still have a job.
Yeah, that's good.
We're still employed.
Yep.
We've got beer, and we're drinking San Diego beer.
And who doesn't love a good San Diego beer, especially on a Friday when you get to come back on Monday?
That's right. So let's all take a big drink of the Dream Trip IPA from Pizza Port.
I think your computer broke. Still black screen, by the way, for anybody who's wondering. It's not turned on yet.
Dave, you're a big IPA fan. Tell me what your thoughts
I
on
mean,
the
it's got
Dream
that
Trip.
real nice IPA hop punch right in the tongue, man. Right in the
But
back
I
of
don't
the
feel
tongue.
like it's like I don't feel like it's so overwhelming
It's not.
hops.
So
though.
it's not the bitter hops, if that makes sense. It's muted, if you will. Like
a smoother hop.
It's a smooth, and it kind of rolls with the flavor of the beer. It really does linger for me, though. Like
yes,
it hangs out for a while.
for like a minute or two after each one, and the pine starts to intensify the longer you go.
As an IPA fan, this is true to form. This is a solid IPA.
Audrey, so this isn't a traditional West Coast. This isn't a hazy. This is kind of its own interesting style. This is just an IPA is what our friends over at Pizza Port are calling this one. Audrey, you're more of a hazy IPA fan. What are your thoughts on the Dream Trip IPA?
I feel like every sip I'm getting different feelings. Like the first time I had it, the first sip, I was like, wow, this is really good. This isn't overwhelmingly like hoppy, which is usually like that pine that gives me that tinge in the back of my tongue, and it is just not my jam. The first sip, I was like, oh, wow, this isn't that hoppy.
Yeah.
Every sip after that, I'm getting more of the hops.
Yeah, because it just hangs out.
It
and then
adds.
you drink more thinking that it's going to meet
Layers.
them, and then it keeps
But I
going. Yeah.
I like that personally.
I do too.
You
It's
know,
not for everyone, though. Like,
we're-
if you're not an IPA fan, this is not like a gateway IPA.
This
No.
is not a gateway. This is not.
It's not a gay
This is
IPA.
not a gay.
Maybe it is. And if it
That's
is, I
right.
celebrate.
Go
I'll put it
ahead.
in my mouth. Hell yeah.
Pride
It's
Month.
delicious.
Put it in the can.
That's right. Ian, your thoughts on this? You are also kind of indifferent towards IPAs. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Mahoney, give me a second. I wrote down my review. Oh, I got it. Okay, here it is. It says, I like it. It is good to me beer. I like it. I like it very much, actually.
For me, there is it's not a big giant like citrus rush, but there is definitely some fruits there. It's nicely balanced overall. I think, as you said, Audrey, the initial taste of this, it kind of just builds upon each sip, and I like that because it's not overwhelming, but it does build upon itself. It uses some of my absolute favorite hops. It's got Idaho 7, Mosaic, and Nelson is like my favorite hop in any sort of IPA. I love just Nelson. That is my hop du jour right now. So I think the overall flavor is very welcoming, yet interesting, and creates a environment in your mouth.
An environment.
That is
Two Nelsons making an environment in my
Oh,
mouth.
wow.
all right. That's very welcoming.
It isn't. Okay, but is anybody else as burpy as I am?
It is.
Every
Yeah,
sip
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
burping.
Really burpy.
Like
Yeah.
multiple
Even when you
burps
look at
for
it, it
one
doesn't look
sip.
like it's that carbonated, but
Holy
I
moly.
am
Super
burping.
burps.
The mouthfeel, this is medium. I would say smooth and almost lightly creamy. And I know that sounds
No, it makes
weird,
sense, yeah.
but it does. But I think the drinkability of this overall for me, this is a go-to IPA. Obviously Swami's IPA is probably what Pizza Port is best known for. It's a classic that's been around for a long time. One of the quintessential West Coast IPAs, and this IPA from Pizza Port does not disappoint. Price point is right on there, coming in at 7.2% alcohol by volume.
$2.50 for a 16-ouncer per can.
Well, and at 7.2, and the
yeah.
alcohol is damn near undetectable. I mean, it just drinks really, really smooth. I wouldn't call this crushable because I feel like that's more of a summertime. I'm trying
Super
to
easy
slam.
drinking, yeah.
I would say this is very smooth and very easy
I'm with
to
you.
drink
Yeah.
overall. I think this is like a late fall IPA. It really hits for me.
I do think that you have to be a fan of IPAs to enjoy this, though. I mean, this is not the sort of IPA where you're like, hey, try this.
It's not a hazy.
No, it's not a hazy. Because
It's not a juice bomb either.
it's very hoppy.
But
It's very hoppy.
Yeah.
No, it's very hoppy.
Not in a bad way. Not in a
I-
negative way.
I like the hops. I didn't
I
used
love
to.
the hops too. When you say very hoppy, I feel like the hops hit you in the face. Whereas I feel like this one kind of just warms you up. It's
no,
like
it's not-
you're slowly cooking a frog, Dave. That's what.
You're slowly cooking a frog, but it gets more intense, much like boiling a lobster.
But I feel like as you're slowly cooking the frog, you become more
That's what I mean.
acclimated to
The
it.
frog is screaming. It's
What
oh
is
God,
cooking
no,
frog?
it's
Dave,
so hot in
when
here.
you cook a frog, it
You're
does not
boiling
scream.
me. Oh, that's
Why?
lobsters.
Why are we?
And
cooking
also, lobsters
frogs?
don't scream. That's just
Lobsters do
that's a wives'
They
tale.
scream internally because they're being cooked alive.
Can I get a drum roll, please? Oh, Mahoney's Beer Scale Supremacy. I give the Dream Trip IPA a 4.2 out of 5.
Won that bet.
So we bet on the where it's going to fall, and Ian accidentally bet the over when he really meant the under. He thought it was going to be a 3.8, but because he accidentally bet the over,
What would you give this?
he
Dave?
just cashed in the balloons. I'd give it around that. I was thinking in my head that it would be about a 4.1, 4.2. So yeah, spot on, man. There's a really good IPA and Pizza Port. Again, continuing to impress. You guys are fantastic. Keep it up.